All right, welcome to our cardiovascular fitness lecture. This is part of our Fitness for Life course, and this in this lecture, which may actually be divided up into a few different parts and distributed over a couple different weeks or a few weeks throughout your course, is all about this important area of fitness and health. That's an important part of one of our 6 components of fitness. So we've spent some time in this course so far kind of establishing how fitness isn't just any one thing. There's actually different areas of fitness, and we really need to kind of strive for all of those 6 areas of fitness in our life to help us have the best possible physical health. So in this segment, we're going to be talking about cardiovascular fitness and how it relates to your overall health. So you might have been given a study guide to go along with this lecture or the coming lectures, and if you have received one of those, make sure you fill that out completely and prepare for the quiz or the test that'll go along with this. And if you weren't given a study guide or if that wasn't part of your assignment, just make sure you take excellent notes, because this is information that you need to know for this course and also for your life. So we have a few objectives with this lesson, and first of all, we want to understand what cardiovascular means. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's talk about a few of these things. So for this unit, we want you to be able to define cardiovascular disease and describe some of the risk factors for cardiovascular disease. You need to know what that is. It's a really big thing. It's a big problem in our country, and you need to understand what it is, what causes it, and how to lower the risk. Okay, you're going to define cardiovascular fitness and describe some ways to measure it. You need to understand how cardiovascular fitness contributes to lowering the risk of cardiovascular disease and how improved health and wellness. You should be able to discuss how the FIT principles can be used to improve cardiovascular fitness. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Remember, FIT stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type. That kind of can be used as something to decide, like, how much do I need to be exercising? What does that exercise need to look like? How long should I be doing it? How many times a week? What type of exercise should I do? You're going to learn ways to monitor your heart and test for heart conditions. You learn how to take your exercise heart rate. And then you need to understand the difference between aerobic and anaerobic exercise. So our learning goal is that you'll be able to learn the importance of cardiovascular fitness and how it can improve the heart, and how that can improve your health and extend your life. So why learn this? Why learn about what cardiovascular fitness is? Well, first of all, it'll help you prevent heart disease. Okay, if you understand it, you can do the things to help prevent it. It'll help you increase your level of cardiovascular fitness, which will make you more able, more capable physically and mentally in your life. It'll help you gain knowledge of cardiovascular fitness and effects it has on the body. This unit will help you use self and medical tests to evaluate your heart conditions, if you have any kind of heart condition, and you'll be able to monitor your heart rate. So let's talk about cardiovascular fitness first. Cardiovascular fitness is a word. If we look up, let me just I've got a laser pointer. I'm going to use that. Let's use the laser pointer. The word cardiovascular, okay, you should hopefully know maybe what these words mean. The cardio part means what? That means it's referring to your heart. Cardio is your heart. And then vascular is kind of like vessels, blood vessels. Vasculature is basically your blood vessels and your arteries that go all throughout your body. So cardiovascular is referring to the ability of the heart, lungs, and blood vessels to function efficiently when a person exercises the body. Okay? So it's a little bit different than your muscles, right? It's different than your muscles, but it's an essential part of actually supplying your muscles with what they need and getting stuff that your muscles don't need anymore and removing those waste products out. So it's your heart, lungs, and blood vessels. So why is cardiovascular fitness important? Well, first of all, it'll increase your energy level. We could all use more energy, right? Energy helps us get things done. It helps us live life to the fullest. We want to increase our energy levels, so cardiovascular fitness will help us do that. It'll help you feel and look better. It'll help you feel good. It'll also help, to some degree, your body image. And when you feel well, you tend to, when you feel better physically, you also feel better mentally. It can create body fat loss. It helps with stress reduction, which we could all use a little bit less stress in our lives and certainly learn how to manage our stress better. And this is a great way to manage your stress. It improves your health. It can extend your lifespan. That sounds worthwhile, right? Forms more arteries in the heart. Okay, so you actually get better blood supply by training it. Clears fats from the bloodstream. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Not all fat is bad. Sometimes people think, oh no, there's fat. Well, we actually need fat. But we're going to talk about how too much fat can actually be harmful on your body and also on your cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular fitness can also lower your chance of atherosclerosis. Excuse me, let me try that again. Atherosclerosis. Okay, that's a disease that we'll talk about in these lectures. And then it also strengthens the heart muscle. It decreases chance of heart disease or stroke, and it can also help improve your self-concept. So, regular physical activity benefits two body systems. We're going to talk about these two body systems. The first system is the cardiovascular system, and the second system is your respiratory system. You might know what those mean. The cardiovascular system consists of your heart, blood, and then the blood vessels. So it's the delivery of your blood. That's the cardiovascular system. Okay, a cardiovascular system that works well consists of a heart that pumps efficiently. So what that means is it pumps more blood with each heartbeat. We want a good, strong heart that can pump efficiently. It involves blood that carries oxygen to tissues effectively throughout your body, your whole body. And then it also involves blood vessels that are unclogged that allow for effective delivery of oxygen. That's your cardiovascular system. Your respiratory system is closely tied to your cardiovascular system. And what your respiratory system is it includes your lungs, your air passages that bring the air into your lungs, which includes oxygen from the outside of your body into the lungs. Inside your lungs, oxygen enters your blood while carbon dioxide is eliminated. So your lungs are an important part of this process. So when you breathe in, oxygen obviously comes into your lungs, okay? And then that blood is sent to that blood that's in the small tiny blood vessels in your lungs comes into contact with that oxygen. It'll pick up that oxygen and it will release carbon dioxide that it just brought back fresh from the rest of your body. That new oxygenated blood, that oxygen-rich blood, will then go back to your heart, and then your heart's going to pump that blood to the rest of your body. Okay? Oxygen blood goes to your body, goes to all these little blood vessels throughout your body, and then as it gets farther and farther away, it loses more and more of the oxygen that it had. And then as it gets to those distal areas, it'll actually start returning back to your heart, depleted of oxygen, but full of carbon dioxide that the muscles kind of basically left, and your blood picked it back up to get rid of it. Your body kind of wants to get rid of that carbon dioxide, and it wants that oxygen. So you can kind of see here, this is kind of what this is showing in this picture. You've got a side of the heart that kind of pumps out the oxygen depleted blood to the lungs, goes out to the lungs, picks up new oxygen, comes back to the heart, gets pumped up through the aorta and to the rest of the body with new, fresh, oxygenated blood. So that's kind of what we've already kind of discussed here. This is just another diagram that kind of helps explain that. So let's talk about arteries and veins. You need to know that you have two kinds of basically passages for your blood to travel through in your body. The left side of the heart forces oxygenated blood away from your heart and into the body through what are called arteries. Now, the way I remember this is oxygenated blood goes away from the heart, away, and arteries kind of start with the same letter. And so that's kind of a nice way to remember that arteries away from the heart are carrying blood that are full of oxygen away from the heart to the rest of the body. And then your veins carry deoxygenated blood back to the right side of the heart. So as you can see here, these veins and these arteries kind of, in a way, kind of travel together to some degree, right? The red, it represents oxygenated blood in arteries that's going out to the different parts of your body. And then once it gets depleted of oxygen and is full of carbon dioxide, it comes back in your veins, comes back to your heart, gets pumped from the heart to the lungs, right? It needs kind of a boost. So the heart boosts it to the lungs. And then while in the lungs, it does this oxygenation exchange, this gas exchange. It releases the carbon dioxide, picks up oxygen, goes back to the heart, and then the heart, boom, pumps it out again. Fresh oxygen to the rest of your body and to your brain. And so just at the smaller levels, when you get to the places where your blood vessels get the tiniest, we actually have what are called capillaries. Capillaries are basically teeny, 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 tiny blood vessels and arteries. Okay, so as the blood gets into the different tissues surrounding, muscles and fats and bones and things like that, your blood dumps off the oxygen, exchanges that oxygen, picks up carbon dioxide, heads back towards the heart to go start picking up more oxygenated blood. So that's kind of how your cardiovascular system works. It's really an amazing machine. When you think about the fact that your heart and your lungs can supply the rest of your body with the nutrients, it can carry those nutrients from your digestive system. It can carry oxygen, that important gas exchange for your body to be able to create energy and to be able to move and function. You can just see how important that system is. And so when we talk about cardiovascular fitness, we want a system that works efficiently. We want lungs that can take in oxygen and that can breathe. And part of that, that respiratory system is building up our muscles that help fill our lungs, right? That help expand our lungs and help contract our lungs. So our diaphragm and our intercostal muscles around our ribs that help cause that, that breathing motion to happen. And then on the other side of it, it's the cardiovascular side, which is our heart. We want a heart that is used to pumping, that knows how, like when demand is placed on the body, it can pump, it can handle it. When you start running or you start doing something with a little bit more force or exerting yourself, a heart that's been doing that does that on a consistent basis is going to be stronger and it's going to be more efficient. Your blood vessels are going to actually be a lot more capable as well in delivering that oxygen. And so by training that system on a regular basis, you can see how that is going to help your overall health. So this is the first part of our lecture. There's a quiz that likely goes along with it. So make sure that you take that quiz and do your best. Use your notes to take that quiz. And then once you're finished, move on to the next assignment.